You've been trying to figure out how to scratch for the longest time, and you haven't had much success. You don't know if you're doing it right. You have nothing to actually follow along to. So, you're in the absolute right place. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to break down a song, and we're going to do what's called a follow the leader. I'm going to scratch for 4 beats. You're going to scratch for 4 beats. You're just going to copy exactly what it is that I'm doing. By the time we're done, hopefully you've built up a bit of confidence. Now, this particular follow the leader is part 2 of this series, essentially. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I go a little bit easier on you in part 1. Here in part 2, we're going to kick it up a little bit, just a little bit. We're also going to pick up the tempo a little bit more too when we jump in here. So a couple of things to make sure if you're just here for the first time and you didn't watch part 1 and you haven't watched our intro to scratching, first of all, you should go and watch those as well. But don't leave quite yet. I just want to give you a quick breakdown of how this is going to go. I'm going to switch to the overhead. We're going to look at the platter like a clock, like an old school clock. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. My hand is going to be at 9 o'clock on the actual platter. The other thing that you're going to see is on the sound that I've loaded up here. This is the skipless Ah Fresh from the DJ Coach, which you can also download below. It's this sound that I'm actually using. I'm at the very beginning of the sound, and look at where my hand is. So I start at 9 o'clock, and I'm basically moving from 9 to about 11. Now, today I'm using the DDJ-FLX4 in front of me, which does not have motorized platters, which I'm going to bust that myth really quick. That is that you need a turntable or you need a motorized controller in order to scratch. That is absolutely untrue. I'm going to do this on a Flex 4 today. You can use whatever you have. For those of you who maybe even don't have access to a turntable right now or a controller, you can also get out a sheet of paper and put it on a table and actually move your hand. Like, check it out. Like, I can put a sheet of paper here and I can just use my hand. Or in this case, I'm not even using a sheet of paper. But if I use a sheet of paper, it's going to feel... I'm going to have the friction is going to be better if I just use a sheet of paper. So you could do that. You could also air scratch as well. I know it sounds silly. You're like, Coach, I don't want to air scratch. I want to actually scratch. But this is muscle memory. You're teaching your muscles what to do. So this is not in vain. Your hand doesn't know that you're not on the actual controller or the turntables right now. Last thing I want to point out before we jump in and scratch to this. This is not a finger motion. This is not a wrist motion. This is a full arm motion. So we want to make sure that we lock up our wrist and our fingers and that we're moving just like this. So let me get this here. So I now lost my centering of my shot here, but right, and I'm going to play the beat. So you don't need a beat on the other side. Yours can be blank like how mine is. You're not going to use the other side. All you're using is this. And now I have it on the left side, but you could also put it on the right side. If you did it to the right side, your right hand would be at 9 o'clock. Not at 3 o'clock. Your right hand would be at 9 o'clock. And you'd be moving from 9 to 11. Same thing. All right, let's do it. Different tempo. Where's the beat? Good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 16ths. Yep. Okay, we're gonna mix it up now. That's a 16th to 8th. Okay, back to 8th. Good. One last one here. Switch up here. Cool. Okay, now combos. reverse it. New combo. One more. There we go. Okay, here we go. That was tricky. Again. Back to our bass. One more here. And last one. Nice. Okay, good. So obviously there were some combinations in there that maybe, sounded a little bit tricky. Everything that we're doing here is the baby scratch. And so when we break this down, again, I want to remind you, if you haven't watched me break down the notes, go and watch this other video where I'm breaking that down, because it'll make all of this make sense. I'm not just moving the platter here at some random time. I'm actually using a combination of quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes to be able to create this musical sound. Right? I'm playing the turntable or the controller like a percussion instrument. And so we're really breaking this down. In fact, some of the combos that we heard here, right? Like this is all eighth notes. This is all 16th notes. And this is a combination of eighths into 16ths. Or the reverse. And then quarter notes was. So then I started doing combinations. In the middle, I actually did a really interesting one, which was 16th to a quarter note to a 16th. So it sounded like this. So 2 quarter notes, and then in the middle was, two 16th notes on each end, and then in the middle was a quarter note. And that actually is a little bit more difficult than it seems, because you really have to have control there. So you did it. You got through this. Even if it was a little bit messy, you still got through it. But here's what I want you to do next. I want you to keep going. I want you to try this again. The second time you do this, it's going to get better. The third time, it's going to be even better. By the time you know it, you do this for, like I said, 9 to 10 times this week, you're going to see a drastic improvement. In fact, something I'd like to challenge you to do is to actually record this. So inside of your DJ software, you could record this. And if you don't know where that's at, let me just show you real quick. I can just click on record, and now I can record what it is that I'm playing. And you can listen back to you doing these scratches and hearing the combinations of things. So I've also given you something else. There in the files below, there is a way for you to download the audio of what it is that I did. And that audio you can actually use to be able to scratch along to. So you could load that on the other deck without watching this video again. However, I do think that watching the video and having that play is also a really good way of doing that also, because you're getting me telling you what you're doing. But this is something that you could certainly do, is to be able to use the track and be able to just scratch along with that as well. I look forward to hearing how this goes. Please put in the comments below if you're down to do this challenge and you're down to do this for the next week. and to test this out and see yourself get better. I'd love to hear how you get better and how you improve. And if you need any help whatsoever, also put that in the comments. We're here to be able to help. I hope you found this helpful. We'll see you on the next one.